Okay, we have done two different programs on checkboxes, but the scenario is the same. So now it's the third one. The previous two, we just gathered the subject code. We just want to display the subject code. Okay, that was what happened in the first two program. For the third program, okay, the program that I'm going to show you now, we are going to do more things, meaning I want to choose the subject, and then I want to know what are the subject name, and then I want to know how much I need to pay for the fees. Okay, so let me show you a sample. Okay, so let's say I choose the first subject and the last subject. So these are the two subjects that I'm going to register. So when I click, I'll get program design and internet and web publishing. Program design, it costs 120 ringgit, and for internet and web publishing it costs 135. So in total it is 255. Okay, so this is the kind of output that I want. Alright, if let's say I didn't register any subjects, of course I'll get this. Okay, if I only select one, which is the middle one, I only have one. Okay, so how are we supposed to go about capturing the code that we have here, and how to put in the name and also the cost, the fee? Okay, now this will be slightly longer, so you have to really pay attention. Alright, the check all function is still here. Okay, it's still here, so we are going to ignore this because I've explained to you this earlier. Okay, so let's go up. Slightly longer because there's some calculation. Okay, alright, so for this particular process, we are going to use the checkboxes. At the same time, I'm going to use an array. Alright, because whatever subjects that I have chosen from the checkbox, I'm going to pick it out and I'm going to keep it in the array. Okay, so that will make the process a bit easier. First thing, I take all the information from the checkbox, put it in a separate array first. Then I can ignore the checkbox and I can focus on the array to do my calculation. Okay, that will be slightly better. Alright, so that's why you can see there's one extra array here. Okay, now I have two counters. Alright, I have two counters here, X and M. So X is to go through the checkboxes. Alright, M is to go through the array. Alright, so first thing, I have to know how long is the checkboxes, meaning how many checkboxes. Okay, so based on the length, I will use a for loop. I will go through the loop, go through the checkboxes one by one, and I will identify which checkbox that I checked. Okay, which checkbox that I have selected. If let's say I have selected any of the checkboxes, what I do, I take the value of that particular checkbox, which is this part. Okay, this part, I will take the value and I will store it inside my array. The first one that I see, which is checked, will be the first one that I keep inside my array. If I see another one, then it will be the second one in my array. Okay, so m starts from 0 and it will be incremented as I go along. Alright, remember this m value and this x value is not the same. Okay, this m value depends on how many items has been stored into my array. It doesn't have to be the same. If x is 3, doesn't mean that m is 3. It all depends on how many I have chosen. The checkbox might be 3, but whatever that I choose might not be 3. It might be 1, might be 2. So m value will be different. Okay, so this is the part that I'm checking my checkbox and putting the value that I have selected into the array. Okay, now the second part. This part is checking my array. Okay, checking my array. So I'm getting the length of the array. If let's say only 2 subjects are chosen, that means my array length is 2. Remember, checkbox length is different, array length is different. Okay, so based on the length of my subject array, I'll check one by one. Here I'm using a switch statement. So in my subject array, it is full of the subject codes. So what I do, I take out one by one and see whether it matches the case or not. If it matches the case, I will take the name, I will take the price. And then I'll go out, I will print it. That is how you get this. Once I take out, I straight away print and then I do a bit of calculation. Okay, this is accumulator. So every time I choose another subject, it will be accumulated in the total. Because you need this so that you can get the cumulative value. Alright, let's say I choose 2. So this is the accumulated value. So this value comes from this formula. Okay, and then it will loop again. It will loop again for the second item in my subject array. See whether it matches any of the case or not. If it matches, it will take out. Take out and print again. This is how you get the second one. This was the first one. This was the second one. And then I accumulate the price to get this. So this one plus with this one, I get this. Okay, this is what this particular looping is doing. Taking out the subject code one by one to check the name and to check the price and then to display. Alright, then what happens? This is the time that you actually display the total fee. If my array is longer than 1, if my array is longer than or equals to 1, meaning I have chosen a subject. If that is the case, display the total. If let's say my subject array is empty, meaning I did not choose any subject from the checkbox to be added into the array, that means my subject array is still empty. That means I did not choose or register any subjects. Okay, so one is for document.write is to display this. Okay, but in case I didn't choose anything, I'll get an alert. For example, if let's say I didn't choose anything, I just click here. That means my array, my subject array is empty. I didn't take any of this value to be put into my array. That means I didn't register any subject. if I have chosen, okay, if I have chosen, that means I've taken 2 items from here, put inside my array. Okay, I've put inside my array, and then from the array, I take out one by one to see the matching cases, and then I display. That is what is happening in this particular function. It is a bit lengthy, but if you go through line by line, you should be able to understand what it is doing. Okay, so here I'm using an array to help me out. Okay, this is to fill up, to check the checkbox and fill up the array. And the rest is done purely based on the array.